Welcome to the Cake Adjacent Podcast, a once-a-week update on all things food, family, community, gardening, whatever. We call it SideCar if it has to do with rituals around food and holidays, making food or taking it places, or remembering where we were when we were eating important things in our lives. Mess that up a little bit. We'll talk about it here. This has been a very difficult week. There has just been one disaster after another this week, and the week is not even over yet. And so I've had a hard time making my brain quiet enough to come up with some pithy thoughts for this week's sidecar. And I will say there's a lot of noise in the background today. I really love writing. I wanted to be a writer since I was little. A writer for a major newspaper or for the New Yorker or an actor. And honestly, writing for a podcast is kind of the best of both worlds without having to wear makeup. But it requires me to sit quietly and look at the notes I've taken and come up with a topic and then dredge my brain for all the things I know about that topic and then just start writing. I edit on the fly and I usually record in just one take, and that's my whole process. I wish I could tell you that I put a lot more time and energy into it, but that really is my process. And right now, the only thing I'm able to dredge up is the kind of grubby, greasy sand that you find in an old parking lot of an abandoned building, because I am like a well that has run dry, and you cannot pull water up from a dry well. I know this from growing up in the country where we had well water, and we had to conserve water during the dry months in the summer, and sometimes in the winter if we didn't get enough snow. I still fall victim to that scarcity mindset. I will literally fill the bathtub with water when we are having a storm, even though we're on city water and sewer. And I have enough food in my pantry and freezer to feed my entire neighborhood for at least 6 months. I prepare for catastrophe all the time. But when it comes to good mental health, I can almost always be counted on to run that machine without any oil, on the spare tire donut, with the check engine light going for at least 6 months. If you've been listening to all the podcasts, you know that my childhood was a challenge, and I carry that with me still. I try hard to fit into places so that I know I will always have a home somewhere. And sometimes all that work means that I put a lot of what I truly need on a back burner in favor of what other people need from me. And by the time I realize how depleted I am, it is so past too late. I've worked hard not to be made to feel small in any space that I'm in, but sometimes the actions of others catch me by surprise, and I realize I've fallen so far down a hole of service for others that I've lost myself. I mentioned last week that I love spring, but I also dread it. Some of the worst things of my adult life have happened in the spring, and the memories of those things are like scar tissue on my soul. And every April and May, and now June, I will experience those profound losses all over again. But here's the thing. This is everybody's life. This isn't just my life. This isn't just my experience. So many of us are existing with our heads just above the surface of some dirty bathwater, especially during the pandemic times, and I am not special. This too shall pass. But I'm tired, friends. I'd love for us all to catch a break. I have a friend whose spouse is far sicker than I've been, and I swear to dog that if I could take half of her cancer and be twice as sick so that she could be half as sick as she is now, I would do so without hesitation. But we don't get to do that. We don't get to make those deals with the universe like that. Would that we could, though, because the deals I would make, my friends, the deals I would make to make it better for the people that I love. Okay, so I know I said that Sidecar wouldn't be sad episodes, so I'm sorry if this one is melancholy, so let's get right to this week's food and otherwise holidays. We're getting to the end of April, and strawberries will be right around the corner here in Virginia, probably by the next sidecar, so we might see some early small ones at the farmer's market, and that does make me very happy. Unfortunately, most of the things that we started in the greenhouse from seed, none of the peppers germinated, and most of the tomatoes that germinated early actually got super hot and then froze the next day. So while not a complete loss, I'd say 80% of the 6 flats of what we started in the greenhouse a month or so ago is dead. Also, all my house plants, which I moved outside to the greenhouse. I'm terrible at houseplants, and this is not a new thing. So please don't feel sorry for me or sad, because it was 3 aloe plants for radiation burns, which are healed, thank you very much, and 3 hens and chicks. And I can get all of those things just by posting on Nextdoor. So I'll just buy tomatoes and pepper plants and zinnias and stuff for the garden, and maybe next year I'll be more vigilant about the temps in the greenhouse overnight. Anywho, let's get out of the sad shack, shall we? Today is Saturday, April 23rd, and it is National Cherry Cheesecake Day and National Picnic Day. I think I said last week, and I'm going to say it again, that every day is picnic day because I always have a snack with me. Tomorrow, Sunday, is National Pigs in a Blanket Day, and let me tell you that this is definitely one of my little favorite party treats, especially if you use those little cheddar-filled weenies, but those are kind of hard to find. It's also Pet Parents Day, which I guess is like Mother's and Father's Day for people who have pets. Whatever, I shudder to think of what Pete and Barney will leave for me in the bathtub this year. Monday is Zucchini Bread Day, which is yet again one of those things that's in the wrong month, because the official zucchini overflow month is absolutely August. And that is when everyone you know who has a garden is begging you to take zucchini. And if not zucchini, then zucchini bread. And if not zucchini bread, then zoodles. There is a place in Providence, and yes, I know, Providence again, but honestly, it is a great food town, called the Red Fez, that used to make these delicious chocolate zucchini cake with fresh whipped cream. And it was so good. You never tasted the zucchini, and the chocolate was not overly sweet. It was just like a really great pound cake. I loved it. In other holidays, it is Hug a Plumber Day, Telephone Day, and DNA Day. But I am not sure at all how we celebrate those last two. Tuesday is Pretzel Day, which is a good day because pretzels are good. Like, have you ever had a bad pretzel? Because I'm not sure I've had a bad pretzel. I didn't think so. Tuesday is also a National Audubon Day, which honors the birth of John James Audubon, who was a French-American ornithologist, naturalist, and painter. And I can tell you that we had more Audubon prints hanging in our house than we had pictures of me and my sister. Now look, I know that there are some vegetarians and even vegans among my listeners, so I want you to hum to yourself for maybe the next, 25 seconds. Okay, do you think they're humming? I think they're humming. Okay, Wednesday is Prime Rib Day. I love prime rib. It was what I always ordered whenever I went out for a special meal from when I was a kid until, I don't know, probably when I was in my early 30s, and then I became a vegetarian for a while. But when my sister was bartending at a fancy restaurant, I would stop there on my way home from working at the resort from the grilled cheese episode of Two Chocolate Cakes, and we would have her staff meal together at the bar. And it was always prime rib with a nice vegetable with hollandaise sauce, often carrots. Carrots were really nice, and some mashed potato. And not only was the meal great, but it was just more time with my sister, where she was a star at work. And to be honest, I am always pretty comfortable hanging around in bars, for better or worse, thanks to my father and my grandfather. Moving on. Wednesday is also Administrative Professionals Day. So if you're a person who has an administrative assistant of any kind, please do not forget to get them a card or take them to lunch or buy them a coffee, or really just try to be extra kind. Maybe give them the day off, but not if it means that they have to work twice as hard to catch up on Thursday, because that totally sucks. Thursday is Blueberry Pie Day, which, again, weird timing since blueberries aren't in season until July, but whatever, I do not make the rules. It is also Take Your Sons and Daughters to Work Day, but remember when it was just Take Your Daughters to Work Day? And Friday is Shrimp Scampi Day, which is gross, and just thinking about it, I can smell it and it makes me gag. On the plus side, it is also Arbor Day and Hairball Awareness Day. Finally, Saturday is Raisin Day, and it's the last day of April. I love raisins. I don't love them so much in savory food, though, like salads or sauces, but I love them in cake and cookies and granola and breakfast oatmeal and as a snack. And spoiler alert, the first week of May is also Raisin Week! Did I just sound like Oprah? I tried to sound like Oprah. Now, the last week of the month has lots of other days attached to it. Are you ready? Because I'm just going to rattle them off. It's Adopt a Shelter Pet Day. It is Bubble Tea Day. And can you believe I've never had a bubble tea? I think I'd actually like it, though. We have lots of bubble tea places. I don't know why I've never been in one. It is Hairstylist Appreciation Day, and I love my hairstylist. She doesn't listen to my podcast, but her name is Lizzie, and she's an absolute delight. It's Honesty Day. And hello, what are we doing for the other 364 days of the year if we only have one day when we're honest? I'm really not comfortable with this at all. It's Military Brats Day. It's Pool Opening Day, which is one of my favorite days of the whole year, and we totally celebrate here because if we don't fill the pool by the 30th, our water bill doubles after the 1st of May. And it's Sense of Smell Day, which, again, I don't know where these holidays come from. Also, it's the day that my health insurance says that I am losing my insurance, so do hold a good thought for me that this whole cluster resolve itself and that on May 1, it is a non-issue because I am absolutely not a person who can survive without health insurance. Now, how about a sneak peek into May holidays? First off, I will give you a heads up that my birthday is May 3rd, and I feel both 27 years old and 87 years old. Suffice it to say that I am somewhere in the middle there. I think that when you don't have children, you lose the ability to mark time using milestones, like people who do have kids. So I keep thinking I'm just a few years out of college, but with better shoes and more cookbooks. Okay, so for the month of May, we have the following as all-month holidays. Asparagus Day. No, Asparagus Month. Barbecue Month. Chocolate Custard Month. Egg Month. Gazpacho Aficionado Month, which kind of surprises me that we have a whole month for that, but again, I don't make the rules. Hamburger Month, Salad Month, Salsa Month, Strawberry Month. Finally, a month that is the right time of the month of the year for strawberries. A pretty good month all around. All right, that's your incredibly messy sidecar for the week. I hope that your week is better than mine was and that you're enjoying the podcast and that you're sharing it and that you're rating it, but maybe don't rate this one because this one was not very good. When you have an opportunity so that we can continue to grow this thing, I'm really enjoying it and I totally appreciate all of you. And I really appreciate when we interact on Twitter and you give me recipes for things. I'm really looking forward to trying out some of these recipes with a friend of mine and a friend of some of yours. We're going to get together, make some of these recipes and try them out and talk about them. I will see you next week for the beginning of May. And remember, elbows off the table. You plant the stuff in the garden green side up, and that it's probably time for a new sponge in the sink, isn't it?